It is the Matt Mosley show, and here we go. Here we go on Wednesday, and man, great to be with you. All kinds of breaking news across the NFL. We'll share with you. I've got a little bit of Cowboys news for you as Christian Parker, a new name, comes in. Cowboys have requested to talk to Christian Parker, the defensive passing game coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. And you go, well, why would the Eagles ever let a guy get away to go to the Cowboys, a division rival? Well, it's kind of the way the NFL rules work, is if you get that opportunity to get a better job and better yourself and go up from a position coach to a defensive coordinator, there are some rules in place to make that happen. And so Christian Parker is at least going to be in the mix. Cowboys have already talked to several. We've brought you those, including Jim Leonard, the former defensive coordinator and the interim head coach at Wisconsin, who's been with Denver. Vance Joseph is the defense coordinator at Denver, and he is the play caller there. And then Kev is with me, as always, Hoosier Hall, as he gets ready for Indiana and Miami on Monday. Again, the college football playoff, it'll be exciting, but it's odd to like have a game, then have a playoff weekend, and then we had two games, and then we have like a whole nother divisional playoff game weekend excitement, and then the Monday national. I don't know if there's a better way to do it, but it's a little weird, it's a little awkward. But for Indiana fans who took over, everywhere they've been, Peach Bowl, Rose Bowl, incredible. Fandom will show up in Miami. And for anybody worried about, oh my gosh, a home game for Miami, you're not paying attention if you think that's going to be the case. Miami will show up and it'll be great. But that's the only reason it will be close to like half and half. And I still think Indiana will have more fans there. Indiana alums, much like Kevin, must do pretty well because they just fly around the country. They got disposable income. There you go. There you go. I think part of it is Indiana people love getting out of that part of the country. I've seen it with Michigan State people. It's like, oh, you got a chance to go to the Cotton Bowl? You got a chance to get out of this cold weather? You get us out of this part of the country for a little while? Let's go to Miami. Let's get out there. And so they save up. Now, Indiana people in the past did not know to save up for all these games in football, but now they know. Now they know because they have the great Signetti running things. And I also will get hot and heavy into the Baylor, what just happened. And when we got Campus Confidential, I do want to, Kevin, while I'm thinking about it, we got a new team member, and he's a part of the onboarding process. And today he's lurking on the Mosley show. He's one of our audience. Brandon, get over there and make sure you subscribe. I mean, it's great to have you in our private chat, but we need you to be counting among our multitudes I've noticed even lately, we're ticking up. And of course, that's without me even, hitting the boost and paying for these people. We're just doing it the old fashioned way. And just hoping that people come over and subscribe to us, and they are. And we're tracking toward, we've got, over 5,000 YouTube subscribers. We'll try to get that number with Brandon's help. That number is going to be up around 20K by the time, or 25K by the time college football starts next year. That's my promise to you. Even if I have to pay out of pocket, would I pay for friends? Well, I was in a fraternity. I mean, you know what they say? Oh, you had to pay for friends. But yes, I'm not above that. I'll just get out the pocketbook and we'll pay. But right now, we're just kind of one by one. We're doing it the old-fashioned, kind of a grassroots effort. And then in November, our numbers were like crazy. I think it had something to do with the Baylor. We were the first place. A lot of people were looking for some information on the whole Baylor AD thing, and we had a lot of information on that front. And then Baylor went and hired Doug McNamee. Friday morning, we're going to be the first. Now, Doug talked to the in-house Baylor thing, that behind the paywall thing, but we will be the first to sit down with Doug, Baylor Plus, and they do a nice job. I don't know, that sounded kind of rude the way I phrased that. They do a very nice job. I'm just saying we're the first sort of true media group to visit with Doug McNamee. That will happen, taping that Friday morning in a couple of days here, and then we'll share that with you Friday afternoon. And I just got to decide. Kevin and I'll put our heads together. We may put that out there at 2:00, but we're going to have a long sit down with Baylor's new AD, and he happens to be a longtime friend of mine. And yes, I understand our local fixer-upper folks have given a bunch of money, and so that's nice. The Baylor baseball has a new naming rights deal, and that's great. That's great. I'm sure that'll come up, and we will visit about all of those things and the portal, the state of men's college basketball. Lots to talk about on that front when the new AD. Now, tomorrow I've put in a request to have, because they play tonight, they're going to then go to play BYU. I don't know what their schedule looks like tomorrow, but I was going to try to have the Baylor women's coach on, Nikki Collin. And so we'll try to get that hammered out. That's still kind of up in the air, but man, just lots to discuss as all this stuff keeps happening. And then later in the program today, we'll do Campus Confidential at 1:30. Later in the program, I want to look at the openings out there in the NFL, and I want to kind of give my rankings to what I think are the best job openings. We'll talk about the best fits. Who are the best candidates for these jobs, but I kind of like to look at a lot of these jobs, and I like to rank them in my mind for the most desirable jobs. And I think we used to be, I think Kevin yesterday was trying to play up the young Steelers quarterback, Will Howard. That does not do much for me, by the way. We used to look at these teams and go, oh my gosh, it's the Steelers. Oh my goodness, it's the Ravens. These, the story, especially with the Steelers, storied organization. That's the best job. That's the best job. It's not all about that anymore. It's like, okay, who best young quarterbacks, best roster, best, what's the free agency look like? How much money do you have? What's ownership look like? What's the alignment like? There's a lot more to look at it other than it's the Steelers. Is that still a great job? Yeah, I think so. I think you do have to look at, okay, what's the fan base like and what's all that. I do think quickly, Mike McCarthy, who at one point was one of the favorites to be the New York Giants coach. Now John Harbaugh's moved to the top of the Giants, and McCarthy, who is a Pittsburgh guy and he's from Pittsburgh. I think he would crawl to Pittsburgh to have that job. So I think he's a good fit for Iron City beer. I think that's a big thing there. I don't know, not much of I don't really partake. So I can't really speak to Iron City, but who knows? Maybe our new man, Brandon McGinnis, with a name like McGinnis, man, seems like he would have had a pint or two in his life. Now, Brandon, I don't know, he may be pretty youthful. Brandon and I have been texting a lot with each other, but I don't know the age. So if he's a youngster, then he may have held off on that. Although some people get started fairly early. We'll see. Kevin will tell you, Brandon, I'll get into your personal life. I won't with you though. I'm going to ease you into this. All right. And good to have Brandon. Brandon's probably scared to death right now that I'm going to bring him right on and put him on the hot seat. No, Brandon, you just enjoy yourself. My early days of radio, I had grown up and I had worshiped this famous radio guy out of Dallas by the name of Norm Hitzges. And I got to go in to studio and watch Norm, and it was like kind of off-putting almost it was awesome to get to see him in action, but then he would be staring at me, and I thought he was going to like call on me, and I might have to actually say something. And it was really, he just liked, if you were in the studio, he liked to play off people. He would never ask them anything. Kevin's going to find that out. Mosley I can just talk and talk and talk, but I actually like to bring Kevin in, not just to show off the long locks, but Kevin has some great takes, especially on college football, and he has thoughts on college basketball and the NFL as well. Kev, real quick, I did hear there's interest that teams are having in somebody that coaches defense for the Colts, and I thought of you when I saw that. Who would that be? Is that an interest shot?
Yeah, you got Lou Anarumo is the defensive coordinator just this past year, replacing Gus Bradley the previous 3 years, and the former Cincinnati guy trained up Trey Hendrickson, found a way to stop Patrick Mahomes in a couple seasons there with Burrowhead and all of that stuff. So he potentially, seeing the turmoil that is the Colts locker room and management, he may be convinced to go elsewhere. We'll see.
Sweet Lou. And the context it came up in, Kev, was actually he was on a list of potential. They were ranking like the top 20 to 25 head coaching candidates. Now, he was way on down the list, but he did make the list. So when I saw that earlier today, and it's kind of my process, by the way. I don't know if anybody's interested in this, but I'll share it with you anyway. So I wake up, not terribly early, because I stay up till crazy hours, and I just read like thousands and thousands of words, and I just read story after story, and I try to get my hands on. And some days nothing really grabs me, and I'll be like, well, I got to really dig deep today. I got to, what do I want to do? But then whatever happens is when we start going, we start getting the show going, those things that grab me the most of all the things I read this morning, those usually bubble up into the show. And that's kind of how things get going. That's how things are prepared. Let me tell you, we're 13:06 into the show. I love doing a good timestamp. One of the things I'm not good at is multitasking, but I'm gonna start timestamping some things. I saw something today NFL wise, and I think our NFL audience will find this interesting as well. And this is the stuff that makes Jerry's skin crawl. Jerry Jones, this just kills him. Things like this. Word getting out that with the Ravens, John Harbaugh was making somewhere in the neighborhood of $17 to $18 million a year. Huh? Really? Okay. I mean, at least 17 million. Oh, whoa. All right. And so as the Giants start to have conversations with him, start to have deep and long conversations with one John Harbaugh, they have put it out there, this is according to Ian O'Connor from The Athletic, that they would be fine spending as much as $20 million a year to have John Harbaugh as their head coach. Isn't this amazing, guys? Think of all that we're seeing right now. Guys get fired. Mike McDaniel with the Dolphins, immediately interviewed. Immediately, everybody's like, okay, cool, let's talk to him. Kevin Stefanski out with Cleveland. Cleveland can't win. They have a great sack artist, but they can't win. Put him on the list. We want to talk to him. I mean, It's one of the greatest gigs in America, a fired head coach, because you either have the ability to, if you have a couple of years left on your contract, like Tomlin does, just go make that money. Just go eat that. Just go, whatever he's making. Let's say he's making about $15 million. We'll go get a great broadcasting job. And for a year, just do some broadcasting and make about $15 million from the Steelers. Now, from an ego standpoint and just a paranoia standpoint, some of these guys can't, like the Harbaugh brothers aren't wired to sit out. Like, it's just, it doesn't really compute. Like, hey, I think I'll go do some TV. Like, they would freak out. They'd be like, wait, what if I never coach again? What if I never get an opportunity? Well, guys, what about making $10 million a year in the media? They don't care about that because, like, their whole lives are defined by their coaching career. It's not whether they make a good point or not on TV. Sean Payton was out for about a year, 2, maybe 1 year in the media. He did fine. But, he's defined in his ego, and he's got a massive one. And I've got Payton stories for you, personal stories to back that one up. All right. So now a reminder, and Brandon, you hear this too. Like if you're ever looking for, like, what I want to do today? What shorts do I want to make? What do I want to put out there on YouTube? Campus Confidential is a great place for it. That's where my man Kevin looks, and he looks at what I want him to do and what he's been doing. I kind of like. He kind of comes up with his thoughts and whatever the biggest trends are in college athletics, and he's like, hey, Mosley, what do you think? Like yesterday, he randomly asked me, do you like women's basketball? I mean, I didn't really see that coming, but yes, and the answer is yes. But what I really like in Campus Confidential is to get very topical. For instance, Kevin, if you're looking for another topic today, they've gone from, you can still redshirt if you play in 4 games. They're trying to get it passed now to where you can play in 9 games and still redshirt. Still have a redshirt season. Okay? That's a topic I would like for Campus Confidential. Does that shock you? Kevin, what are you doing at your place? Like when I hear what's happening at Kevin's, it almost sounds like he's either in an airport or they're like he's running a bunch of computers. Like he's got a bunch of routers in there, and there's like 200 routers. It's an interesting process there over at Kevin's studio. Kevin's home studio is an interesting place. Okay, I may start doing some live shows from there, but I do like being in the home studio of Mosley. Next week, I'm looking to do one show from the old Alico building studios. I'm going to be in town for a board meeting of Baylor's S3, that great sports marketing program over at Baylor University. And I'll be in town doing some stuff with that group. And that'll be exciting. But we're going to do some studio shows. And then on 22nd, Kev, they want some of us to drop by to get our glossy shots. What are those things called? They've got like a major professional photographer coming in.
Are we doing a glamour shot thing? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Remember that place in the mall you could do that?
Yeah. Do you think I should just do my normal look with sunglasses and cap, or let the hair kind of get cleaned up? Yeah, how does that go?
They said collared shirt, and I'm like, okay, so you don't want me to be me. Okay, got it. So no hat, collared shirt, gotcha. It'd be like I'm back in church ministry.
That's why, I told my buddy one time who had a date, and he was getting ready for a date, and he seemed a little nervous about it. And I told him, I said, whatever you do, don't be yourself. Just don't. Just try not to be yourself. Okay. And I thought that was good. He ended up marrying her, by the way. So I think I gave him good advice. Just because he was just he's not engaging. He's a good friend, and I like him, and he's a highly successful guy in sports media. He's a columnist, and but if he was himself, which is aloof and quiet and brooding, then he had no shot. He had no shot. So he needed to at least get it out there a little bit and not be himself, was my advice for him. Brandon, I'm here for dating advice. Brandon McGinnis. I wonder if he's married. Can we chat on this thing, Kevin? This studio chat? Could I send you a private message on there somehow? Is there there's a version, there's something up there where I could get comments. Anyway, we're on this live StreamYard platform, I guess is what we're doing. So we're talking
if you go comments, it comments to the public in the YouTube comments. You don't want to do that.
Well, I like that. I want to talk to the public.
There is a note thing that we can use on there, but
all right, I'm not. Yeah, I'll skip that. All right, we will have Campus Confidential coming up at 1:30, 2 o'clock. NFL coaches. I need to talk some Baylor basketball real quick, and I may need more time in the 2 o'clock because something happened last night. After our deep dive yesterday, a lot of people watched that. Kendall Kaut was on with us. He's authored a Baylor book on Baylor basketball. We gave several ideas. Baylor was in a bad place. Baylor comes out last night in Stillwater, and I should have told you, Kevin. I'd like to see I'd like highlights right here. All right, like from if we can grab that from what was that? Good. Oh, Kevin still photos. I love it when he does this. Kevin does not need. He's not a man who really needs highlights. Is that Obi Ogbum? Baylor comes out in the first half last night and shoots 73%. They were unbelievable from three. I think they were 9 for 14 in the first half. I love those uniforms, by the way. Like the gold, I don't know why it kind of reminded me of some old Baylor uniforms, maybe even back before Scott Drew. There's something about though, and they're not the highlight or weird ones that they used to wear, like in the NCAA tournament and other times. The fluorescent deal. I thought these uniforms looked awesome. I thought it almost felt like a throwback. Now leave it right there for a second, Kev. That's Tunde Yesufu. Brandon, learn it, love it. That's the great Tunde. One of the leading scorers in California high school history. Man who came over originally as a young lad from West Africa. Came over, played ball. Is just a tremendous, tremendous young guy. And honestly, in the first 3 games of conference, just couldn't find it. Didn't really look comfortable. Wasn't playing great defense. Last night, he found it early. He found it in the second half. I thought last night was about a release for this team that spent the last 5 to 10 minutes of that game trying to dunk on the entire arena. They had 2 guys, including one was, I think Tunde tried one time and Isaac Williams tried one time just to dunk on the whole team. It was unbelievable what they did to Oklahoma State, who had been good this season. Oklahoma State was flirting a week ago or so with being in the top 25. Baylor goes into a hostile environment. They had a really good crowd there at Oklahoma State. They were so excited to beat Baylor. And Tunde especially, he went for 23 in this game, but he played under control. He was great in transition. He was tremendous at finishing his shot. He looked smooth on his 3. Played better defense. Man, they did it all. They did it all in this game. They were better at defensive rebounding. Still not a strength. It won't be all season, but you can be better at it. You can try to block out. They did a better job there. And quite honestly, we made too much of a deal of James Najee. James can help you here or there. Last night, he gave you 6 minutes and he had like 3 fouls. Fine. Caden Powell played his rear off, blocked out, rebounded the ball, did fine. I was happy with the performance. Obi Ogbum, who has not really lived up to what they needed, not a true point guard, had 15 points in that game. He doesn't turn the ball over, played tough defense. Great. He didn't have to try to create shots. He moved around, got open, and he did exactly what he needed to be. He needs to be a catch-and-shoot 3 guy. Brandon, this is where you grab something from today, sir, if you had what you needed. I thought Carr played beautifully. I mean, it was, and here is the creme de la creme, if that's a phrase. Here's the biggest story from that game, and everybody played well. Dan Skilling's supposed to be one of their best players, did not suit out. He was hurt for this game. He'll be day to day, game to game kind of thing. He did not suit out. They played beautifully. Obi hung in there and played all 40 minutes. That's tough, man. That is tough to get out there and play hard-nosed basketball for all 40 minutes. Way to go, Obi. All right, all the hate and all the vitriol and any kind of blowback you've gotten this season, way to go. So Baylor improves to 1-3, and now they play Kansas Friday night. But here's the big point on Baylor basketball. Mikey Ratai himself showed up last night. He's not played well. He doesn't shoot the ball particularly well from 3. He was struggling. There was not much he was doing to help you, other than trying to defend the best he could. In this game, whether it was responding to a run from Oklahoma State when they got it down to 12, and one time they got it to 10, and Yesufu got a big steal and a dunk. That was an awesome moment in this game, but it was Mikey Ratai. Go back to that, Kev. Do you have a Mikey Ratai photo? Let's bring him back up. There he is. Just everything he did. He hit shots in the lane. He hit the offensive boards. He played tough. When they made a run, he gave a little move from the corner and went to the rack and got a dunk and a 3-point play. That's it, man. That's it. That's who they wanted. That kid Falah for Oklahoma State, the big man for them, good player. Good player. 18 points against the Bears. Got hurt, was out of the game for a little while, but that's not why they got beat. Baylor just completely dominated and killed them. But that guy came from Oregon State, same place Ratai did. I don't know if the sight of him inspired Michael. I think Michael plays tough. I do not think Michael has. It's not an effort issue with Michael. It's just been a fit issue, getting him going, getting him, and whatever they did last night, getting him shots in the lane, letting him attack the rim a little bit. Man, he played beautifully. 19 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists in that game. That's it, Mikey Ratai. That's what Baylor was hoping to get. Now, we think Baylor spent somewhere in the neighborhood of like $700,000 to $1 million on Mikey Ratai. And last night, he played like the man who is earning that. And unfortunately, that's how we talk about college players now. Did they miss on this guy? Is he earning his money? Is he doing this? Is he doing that? Maybe it's unfair, but it is the way of the world now. It is just the way things go in college athletics. Mikey Ratai was great. I mean, Isaac Williams in the first half ran the team, made block shots, great defense. He was incredible. Now, that's the closest thing they have to like a real solid point guard. He hit threes. He blocked shots. He was good on the point. Now that's Obi. Do we have an Isaac Williams shot? A shot of Isaac. Anyway, he was brilliant in that game. He may be number 3. I don't know if we have a shot of him, but Isaac was just incredible in that game. I mean, again, his shot making, his distributing. It's funny with people go, well, wait, why are they beating us on the offensive boards? Hey, when you make 73% of your shots, there are not as many offensive rebounds, Sherlock. All right. So that's the reason Oklahoma State was beating Baylor in offensive rebounds in the first half. Baylor actually couldn't get offensive rebounds because they made so many shots. For 3 games, they were almost out of like 300 and however many teams there are, 360 teams or so, 365 teams. I think they were 364th in defensive rebounding in those 3 conference games coming into that game. They were horrible on offense. They were horrible at shooting. And yet last night, it was the most beautiful game you could have witnessed. The old Bears showed up, and it was a remarkable night. So there you go. Some Baylor basketball talk. May have a little bit more of that to go. Again, I'm going to rank all these NFL openings, and we're going to do that. In fact, Kev, if you have something you can put up that has all the openings on it, like a list of them, you and I can kind of look at that and work that out together. We'll do that in the 2 o'clock hour. I do have a list for you, Kev, if you need me to send that to you. But anyway, I just think of things on the fly sometimes. So, and Kevin's unbelievable on the fly, I have found out in our short time together. Let's do some Campus Confidential. Let's do it next.